Vibe Show 97.9 tonight. I'm telling you right now, tonight is a epic, monumental moment. Very, very near and dear and special to me. I'm like on a cloud and been on a cloud for quite some time, man. Just knowing that this is actually happening. Imagine just as a kid growing up, being introduced to hip hop, you know what I mean? And falling in love with your favorite artists, trying to emulate these guys, trying to dress like them, rap like them, move like them, do the things that they're doing, just watching them, man. I'm telling you right now, if you're not locked in, shame on you. Y'all keep it locked. It's the Vibe Show 97.9. Vibe Show 97.9. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Kano the Don, the Vibe King. And like I was telling y'all, man, tonight y'all gonna see me smiling. I'm happy, man. Like, it's not every day that you get the opportunity to talk to a legend, somebody that you grew up to, just watching, man, just trying to emulate and wanting to be like. I'm talking about when you're talking about legends, when you're talking about hip hop, when you're talking about pioneers in the game who done it all, man. I'm talking about going from being artists, kids on the block with a dream and a vision, following through with that dream to become artists, to become rappers in this entertainment business, to open up the doors for so many different artists to come from movies to commercials to you name it. I'm talking about at the forefront of this thing. I'm talking about legendary artist, pioneer, and innovator. 1/3 of the iconic group, the Fat Boys, the one and only Kool Rock. Ski, man, we got to get him in here. Let's go.
What's good? What's good with you?
Listen, man, look, I'm not going to play no games. I'm here. That is exactly what I'm going to do. Pay homage, man. I just want to, before we even get started, I want to send love, thanks, man, love and thanks and appreciation up to your brothers, Prince Markie D, man, and the human beatbox Buffy Love, man. Rest in peace to your brothers, man. And I want to thank you for this amazing opportunity to come on the Vibe Show, man, and show some love. Thank you, my brother.
It's no problem, man. Thanks for the condolences and thanks for having me. You know what I mean? Thanks for the introduction. That was dope. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Like I said, man, I just have a strong appreciation. This is my era, man, and for this to be happening right now. Listen, I talked to my mom earlier, and she really couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, just watching the videos, dancing, trying to rap, trying to rock the chains, rock the gear. Like, it's just different, man. It was a different time, a different era then. And I feel like the love, it was really about hip hop then, being innovative, being different. And I really feel like you guys were very, very special and really blessed us for so many years, man.
Oh, thanks, man. We just, you know what? We came out at a time where it was relatively new. And by the time we became popular with it was the time where the money was being poured into it. So this is why you had the marketing money behind groups like us and Run DMC and Houdini and Beastie Boys were there, and in LL Cool J, the emergence of LL Cool J, the money started coming behind. The record company started taking it seriously. You know
Right.
what I mean? And no disrespect to Flash and Furious 5, who laid down the ultimate foundation for hip hop, but you know, a lot of record companies, when they were out, they were just hoping something would stick, and
Right.
then they would put money behind it. But with us, there was a marketing scheme behind it. It was money pushed. Run DMC, they had the whole look and the whole the b-boy thing going on, and so on and so forth. So we were like the second tier of hip hop artists. The first was like Cold Crush 4 and Flash Furious 5, Fantastic Romantic, Treacherous 3, Curtis Blow, Lovebug Starsky, the list goes on and on. So we were like the second tier. So when we came out, it was kind of like rap was getting more popular, it was gaining ground. So by the time we came up with our first single, it was just it was breaking barriers as far as record sales, and we're doing shows here and there. It was gaining momentum throughout the country. But by the time Crush Groove came out, that's when all heck broke loose, and
Right.
everybody wanted to rap.
Yeah, yeah. Being from East New York, let's go back. Talk to me about that feeling of being from East New York and growing up. I want my listeners to know this space growing up then, and just even having that vision.
Oh, East New York, man, it was you know, what's crazy is later on down the road when we started touring, we would tell people we were from Brooklyn, and they would say what part, and we didn't know people really knew what East New York, that part was.
Right.
And we would say East New York, they would just cringe and be like, "Oh my gosh!" But if you're from the outside looking in, of course you're going to say that. But East New York was exactly what it was. It was a jungle, but at the same time, it was a family oriented neighborhood which we
Mm.
grew up in. Down the block, right down the block, was Linden Houses, the projects. But the projects were kept immaculate. The lawn was kept up. There was no urine smells in the hallways, none of that stuff. I think
Right.
what happened with East New York was, like my brother said one day, it turned from Disneyland to Iraq overnight.
Right. Right.
And that's the part the people, they didn't see the part where we grew up in. They seen the part where it turned into a battleground. But it was just so much fun growing up. We had a childhood. You know what I'm saying? We were snatched pretty much off the streets at 15, 16 years old as far as getting into the music industry. But
Right.
we did have a childhood, from the ages of 1 years old to about 14. We had fun. We just did regular children things, played in the streets, played football in the streets 24 hours a day. We
Right.
weren't going to school. We got beatings by our parents. Just normal stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
just
Right.
normal stuff. Got into a lot of fights. We fought like every day. But back then when you fight, you shake hands and you play again. It
Yeah, you back
wasn't.
playing again. Right.
Yeah, it wasn't. We didn't carry it over into some kind of gun battle and that kind of nonsense. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it was fun growing up, man. Everybody pretty much had their own lane. Um, we wasn't the tough guys, so we let the tough guys be the tough guys.
Right.
We just the kids. You know what I'm saying? We just kids, young guys, just growing up and having fun.
Let me ask you this, because like I said, this it just was special times then,
Yeah.
and to know all of the milestones and barriers that you guys broke down and accomplished, you know, just knowing where this vision come from, like, what was the inspiration for wanting to even get into the entertainment business? Talk to me about, I know you guys were from the same neighborhood, but as
Right.
kids, you guys were young when you came in the game. Did you guys kind of have a discussion about this, or like what really inspired you guys to want to actually get into the entertainment business as artists?
To be 100% honest with you, the industry came to us. We didn't go
Mm.
seeking it. What I mean by that is that we had no aspirations at all of making records. We just wanted to do parties. Once we got into rap, we would just practice every day. Me, Mark, and Buff. When we got into like our freshman year of high school, Mark went to a different high school, and me and Buff went to the same high school. So me and Buff were like walking, and I had the best of. I mean, I had the best of both worlds. Buff was a DJ, and he was a beatbox.
Right.
So I can get up in the morning and just practice my rhyme skills with him, and just do the beatbox all the way to school.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like nobody else had it like that. So that's how we built that real close chemistry between us three, because we just hung around each other all the time. But what happened was we entered a rap and dance contest that my sister told me about. And the first place prize was a recording contract. So, the second place prize was some DJ equipment. But we wanted the DJ equipment. You're 16, 15 years old. You don't know what a record contract could do for you.
Right.
And you really don't care. You just want the DJ equipment because you figure you can just clean out the basement, take the DJ equipment down there, and charge people to get in, and just do some basement parties.
Right.
But, our manager, who became our manager, who put the contest together, who became our manager down the road, he was telling us, you're going to have so much money you can buy DJ equipment for the rest of your life. Don't worry about the DJ equipment.
Right.
So, like I said, that's what I'm saying. That it came knocking on our door. We just went there with the aspirations of getting the DJ equipment and being popular on our block. We wanted to be so-called quote unquote ghetto superstars. We didn't want to be worldwide known, individuals. So that happened for us. And we put out our first single, which was called Reality. And it sold enough. I think it sold like 2,500 copies in like 6 months.
A neighborhood success. Neighborhood success.
Yes, I don't think even a neighborhood bought it. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it was horrible. It was horrible. Because we was trying at that time, everybody was trying to do the Flash and the Furious 5 kind of message kind of song. Mm-hmm. So we did our rendition of that, and that didn't work for us. So, it took a big old flop. But we got the tour overseas with that one single. Because one thing about our manager at the time, he was a real go-getter. So his thing was he wanted to make money, so he wanted us to make money, so he can make money. Right. So that's what a manager really does. Manager goes out there. If the manager wants to make money, he's gonna make sure you make money.
Right.
So that's what he was all about. And he had the gift of gab. He was like a white Don King, so to speak. He had gift of gab. He had the gab, and so he got us in places where a lot of people couldn't get to.
Right.
So we were doing tours overseas with a really bad single. You know what I'm saying? But we were selling out clubs with this really bad single, and making a little bit of money, not a lot, but it just goes to show you, if you can talk your way into a lot of things if you get that gift of gab, and he had the gift of gab. So
talk to me about because even after the Reality single, it didn't stick or whatever. Even at that point though, you guys didn't give up, because a lot of people, man, that can kind of be deterring too, and kind of make you just want to be like, what, this not for me. But you guys actually stuck with it, and by sticking with it, that ended you guys up in the studio with Kurtis Blow. Talk to me about that experience, actually meeting Kurtis Blow, because Kurtis was the hottest thing.
Well, matter of fact, Kurtis was one of the judges at the contest.
Oh, wow.
Kurtis Blow. Yeah, we met him before going to the studio, but I'm pretty sure he didn't remember us at that time. He just was there just to pretty much collect a check for judging the contest. So after Reality didn't do nothing but double wood, we had to regroup. Now, you have to realize nowadays, or even maybe 10 years, 15 years ago, a record company, if your single doesn't sell, you're shelved.
Right.
But at that time, it was more like, well, we got to credit our manager for saying, what, I have faith in these guys. I think they can do something. Right. So he told me and Mark at first that he was going to get Kurtis Blow to do our next single. So, Kurtis Blow is not going to work with us. That's Kurtis Blow, the rap solo superstar. You know, he has to have time for us.
Right.
But you know, lo and behold, we go inside Quadrasonic Studio, and there is Curtis Blow sitting with a white jacket, with the KB coming down, the K Blow coming down, the medallion, Jerry curls just dripping like crazy, and we're like, yo, he goes Curtis Blow. So we're staring at him for like maybe 20 minutes, just staring at while he's talking.
Right.
So he's doing like this, like, hey, you know, get in the booth with me, hear what you got. So we were starstruck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we go inside the booth and you know, we start freestyling, and Buff was doing the beatbox. So he got an up close. He seen Buff do the beatbox at the contest, but he never seen him doing it in the studio.
Right.
And once he seen him doing it in the studio, Kurt was like, wow, like, you know, he just stopped. He told us, hey guys, come back in the room. He was like, yo, y'all are amazing. Like, and it was crazy to hear him say that. Like,
Curtis
was looking at us like just shaking.
Curtis is saying this. I mean, it's got to be amazing.
Oh yeah, and he's shaking his head like just doing like this, like, yo, y'all are amazing. Like, I've never seen anything like this before. Because I guess he was saying because there was so much energy when we were rapping, so much chemistry, but that came from a whole lot of practicing. And you know, and Buff just doing the beatbox and knowing when to stop the beat and when to, you know, to let the beat go when me and Mark would be rapping. And the ad-libs we were doing once Mark was rapping or when I was rapping was just like so on point. You know what I mean? So Kurt was like, yo, y'all ready? Like, you guys are ready. I don't know who produced that first single, so we're just gonna forget about that. So he told us to go downstairs, and we went to an arcade, and we came back within like a half an hour, and he had the track up called Fat Boys. So we heard the acapella at first, but it goes fat, fat, fat boys.
Yeah.
It was like, what the heck is that? You know? So then the beat comes in, we're like, oh, that's dope. Then we heard the chorus, fat boys, you know the down. Who are you talking about? What is fat boys you're talking about? You know? So it's like, yo, go inside, just write some rhymes, and you know, let me see what you got. And we wrote the rhymes pertaining to the song.
Oh, okay. So the hook was already on it already when y'all heard the beat already.
Right.
Did y'all
realize?
Did y'all ever figure out where the concept came from though? Like, when, you know, who made the beat, that concept though?
I guess once he saw us at the contest, he kind of put two and two together. We were some chubby kids, so he probably said, "Oh, you know, I got a song for them." And being that they kind of on the chubby side, I'll call them Fat Boys.
Right.
And I'll name the song Fat Boys rather. And at first, it was really Curtis Blow who taught us how to count bars.
Oh, so y'all was just raw coming in, like didn't really know how to.
Yeah, we didn't know how to even put a song together. You know, he actually taught us that night how to put a song together. So we was rapping, and we were rapping into the chorus.
Right.
And because you got to stop before the chorus, let the chorus go, but you know, somebody else comes back in. So it's going to be like a 16, 16, 24, 16, 24, 16, however way you want to count it. And so we was doing like 24 bar raps where to go right into the chorus.
Right.
So we had to cut a lot of the rhymes, and he started saying, this is how you count a bar. Like such one, such two. We're like, oh. And we looked at each other like, oh, that's how you do it. So that's how we just cut down our rhyme to a 16, you know, and another 16, another 16. So we kind of learned that night.
Right. What was it like working with Larry Smith though and David DMX though? Because you know, you know what I mean, and Billy Warry, you know, talk to me about working with, because these guys are great all the way around the board, and that's some next level type stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they were friends of Curtis Blow. So Davey D was they were down with the Cold Crush band. There was a Crush band, and it was Davey D, Curtis Blow, Larry Smith, Billy Warren. So these guys they knew each other already. Just that Larry Smith, Larry Ladd, who we call him, he worked with Run DMC a lot and Houdini.
Right.
So when he came in to work with us, it was like, you know, oh, is he going to give us the same kind of sound that Run DMC got, same
Right.
kind of sound that Houdini got? But he fitted the sound that was for us. He gave the sound for us. So Curtis told him what to play, and that's how he played it. But you know, David DMX was dope. You know, with what he did with Jailhouse Rap. You know,
Yeah. Oh
I mean,
man.
yeah, that bass line is just a killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you know what was crazy about the first Fat Boys album, which is really an EP, only has like 8 songs on it. It's
Right.
not really
Right.
an album. It was so much traffic coming through that studio.
While
So
y'all
it
were
was,
working?
huh?
While y'all were working?
While we were working. I mean, Russell Simmons was peeking his head in there damn near every night just to see what we were
Wow.
up to. You know, Melly Mel was coming through. It was just so many people just popping their heads in just to see what we were doing.
Right.
So as I look back on it now, it was almost like people knew we were putting together a classic.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it was
Yeah.
just so many people just coming through the studio. And by the time we finished the album, you know, we had a little party, whatever, at the record company. And, you know, we released, well, Fat Boys and Put Up Stickum was the first singles off the album. You know, back then you had the single and the B-side. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
What's crazy about that though is, and it's the thing that I just want people to understand, was you guys were still in high school. You
yeah,
know,
freshman year of high school.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you got one of the biggest records out that it's on the radio. Like, talk to me about that vibe and that experience right there, though. How that felt as freshmen in high school.
Just think of it like this: like you're the big man on campus, whether you're playing baseball, basketball, or football in high
Right.
school, and everybody's looking at you. Walk the hallways. You got your high school jacket on or whatever. You get a little write up in the paper. Now magnify that times 1,000. You got the #1 song in New York, and you're only 15 years old, and you're still in high school.
Right.
You're beyond the biggest man on campus.
Right.
And when our song came out, it came out like on a Friday, in I think it was May 4th, I think it was on Friday, and so they played it throughout the whole weekend, from Friday,
Mhm.
Saturday, and Sunday. By the time we got back to school at Monday,
Right.
it was like freaking pandemonium. It was just crazy. I mean,
Man,
we couldn't even get to our classrooms. You
come
know,
on, man.
it was crazy, man. It was like the Beatles or the Jackson 5 or whoever was hot in the music industry just came into, you know, I mean, you're in high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like I think I said it once on a TV show. The people that wanted to beat your head in Friday, they was asking for your autograph on Monday. You know what I mean? So it was crazy, man. And
Yo, 1984, man, the album The Fat Boys dropped and you guys go gold. I just
yeah,
need to know that that's life changing. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, and plus you guys were the first guys to go gold. Listen,
yeah.
you gotta know what that feeling felt like.
You know, we were so wrapped up in what we were doing. We're so young. We were impressed by so many little things. You know, record company would give us like a nameplate, um, you know, different things they would just give us, and we were just impressed by that. We wasn't really too focused on the limelight and the
Right,
success of what we were doing, because you got to remember we were still living in our old neighborhood, so
right,
we were
right,
still on the block. You know, so people were my porch, my house rather. Buff House is right across the street, and Mark House is directly down the block, like 4 houses down.
right.
But my house was the house everybody, you know, converged to. Like everybody came on my steps in the summertime. Just imagine, like we almost had the whole Brooklyn in front of my house, like every night. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like every freaking night, it was like a party over there. So, you know, everybody just wanted, they were just so proud of us and wanted to be part of the success, and, you know, the I told you so's kind of thing and all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
it was a lot of fun, you know.
How did
But my
moms and
father did,
dads feel?
yeah, my father didn't like it too much. My
Yeah, I was
father's a
just about
private
to ask you
person.
that.
My father was kind of like, you know, what's all these people? You know, my mother and father's from the South.
Right.
You know, we were all raised, my brothers and sisters and myself, we were all raised in, you know, up north in Brooklyn. But they had real Southern ways. You know, Buff family as well, his mother and father. So they didn't really understand too much of the music industry like that.
Right.
So they it didn't scare them, but it was kind of like, you know, where's all this coming from? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right. I definitely get you on that. Definitely.
yeah.
Fresh Fist, the first hip hop tour ever, and you guys again a part of history. We had, you know, Curtis Blow on the lineup, Run DMC, Houdini, Nucleus. I mean,
Yeah.
that experience definitely had to be like next level, because I mean, now we're talking about the first hip hop tour here. Talk to me a little bit about that, Ski.
The Fresh Festival came because Ricky Walker, Mike Malden, which is Jermaine Dupri's father, wanted to put together a tour, and they came to Charlie Stetler because our manager Charlie Stetler at the time, he had the connections to Swatch Watch, and he had the sponsorship of Sprite.
Wow.
So he had the connections. He had Swatch Watch in his back pocket because the maker of Swatch Watch was one of his best friends. So he was putting up the money for the tour, and he went out and got Sprite to do the tour, to be sponsor of the tour. And so the thing was, it was supposed to be a Run DMC, Curtis Blow, Houdini tour. So Russell was like, nobody knows the Fat Boys. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows Disco 3.
Right.
Like, why would I have them on this tour with Run DMC, who is like the biggest act in hip hop right now?
Right, right.
My manager kind of said, well, you don't have sponsorship. So if I take away Swatch Watch and Sprite, what do you got?
Right,
so,
right.
You know, so it wasn't like he was forced to put us on, but he was like, all right, so he's seen the big picture, like, you know, I got to have some sponsorship for this tour. But we were supposed to go on first. So he worked it to we came on before Run DMC, which was the closing act.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I think he was pissed at that as well. But the crazy thing about that tour is that the big cities, we sold out within minutes.
Right.
I think what made the industry take notice to that tour was that we were selling out the small cities faster than the big cities. So we would go to little markets like South Carolina, North Carolina, Fayetteville, little small towns, and sell it out within minutes. You gotta remember, rap music at this time was on fire. It was gaining so much momentum.
Right.
And because of the young people who accepted it and said, this is our music, this is our culture, they wanted to see anything and everything that came out of New York.
Right.
And the biggest thing that was coming out of New York at the time was us, Run DMC, and Houdini, and Curtis Blow.
Right.
So they was coming to the concert in groves. I mean, we were selling out every night. And we just had this chemistry. Us and Run DMC just became really close. You know, Jam Master Jay, may he rest in peace. We just became really close, and we hang out, you know, after all the shows. And I got to bring this up to DMC over the weekend. We were in Buffalo, and so we were inside Run's room. We all would go to Run's room after the show and talk about the show.
Yeah.
So back then, Domino's Pizza would close at 12 o'clock. It wasn't like it was 24 hours back then, like it is now.
Right.
And so DMC was like, "Yo, I'm hungry, man. Need something to eat." So we called room service. They were closed. So there was a vending machine downstairs. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, the vending machines back then, it was glass. It wasn't like plexiglass.
Yeah, yeah.
So DMC was like, "Man, the heck with this. I ain't paying for this." So he runs all the way from the back of the hotel and does a flying kick at full speed and kick the glass. And all this candy and chips, we all taking this stuff out the vending machine. Wow. But those are stories, man. Like, you know, the stories like in Detroit, Run DMC had rocked California. Like, they couldn't be touched that night.
Right.
So we got to Detroit. Detroit is one of our biggest markets. Like, it was like being in New York.
Yeah.
And they was just, I mean, it was just all over the radio how the Fat Boys are going to destroy this show tonight. Nobody could touch the Fat Boys. Like, when they come on stage, man, we got on that stage. you would have thought the top of the balcony would have just collapsed.
Are you serious?
That's how much energy was in that place, man. It was
Wow.
crazy that night. And once Buff did the beatbox, they just went completely. Mind you, we only had 2 songs.
Right.
Put up Stick 'em and Fat Boys, but it was just bananas that night. And then, you know, if you ever seen the video, Freaks Come Out at Night, that's when Houdini shot their video in Baltimore.
Okay, so that was that show.
Right. That was in the Fresh Festival. Yeah. And that night was my birthday. So when you see Doc Ice and Kango wiping the floor,
yeah,
they brought this huge birthday cake on stage, and we celebrated my birthday on stage, and everybody started throwing cake on stage. That's why the stage was so slippery after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
You know, and you know, the memories are all we have, man, that doesn't lose value. Like, you know, being on a tour like that, and then, you know, of course we hear the Houdini stories, and like, you know, all you guys just really just out there on the road enjoying yourself, man, being able, but you know, that impact of what did it do for you, you know, just seeing these massive crowds of people just reciting the words that you guys put together, man, just people falling out, going crazy, trying to get to you. Like, what does that do for someone that young, man? How did it impact you?
Oh man, it's just like I said, like you didn't absorb it at the time
because you're in the moment.
Right, you're in the moment, and you're going to another city right after that show, so you don't really have time to absorb, and you know, you just gotta be, like you said, you gotta be in the moment for right there.
Right.
The next night you're in another city. Then the next night you're in another city. So but you're making friends along the way, because you got to realize a lot of these people that's coming to see your show, they're the same age as you, maybe 1 or 2 younger, 1 or 2 years younger, or 1 or 2 years older.
Right.
So you're making friends, and you know, you just you're conversating in hotels lobbies at 2 in, and we're talking about Marvel comic books and our favorite football teams and that kind of stuff. So you're just making friends along the way. But so that's the kind of thing you take in, is the friendships that you make. You get telephone numbers from your fans. You're calling them while you're on tour. Yo, what are you doing? I can't believe you're calling me right now. Yeah, what's up? You know, that kind of stuff. But so that's the kind of things you take with you while you're out there, you know. But you know, you don't get caught up. You know, rappers have egos. I think all kind of people in the entertainment industry have egos.
Right.
But you know, at that time our egos was kind of like we didn't have these big egos that some rappers have now. We were kind of more
y'all
like
y'all never did, Ski. Y'all always was approachable. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what a lot of people fell in love with, man, because you know, a lot of artists don't really be approachable. Then you got a lot of the tough guys that, you know, people be like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys never were like that though. Y'all were fun. Like, it's like your energy was always fun.
Yeah. I mean, it was always we had got this big bodyguard at one point because we got so popular. Like, it was like you go to our hotel room. I mean, our hotels would be packed with fans by the time we drive up at 1 in. It'd be like 5,000 fans out there. Fat Boy Mania was real. I told my niece this one day. It was real. Like, it was really crazy out there at one point. And so we got this big, like 7-foot bodyguard. If anybody ever seen the MC Light cover of her first album, and you look at the back of the cover, that was our bodyguard. The guy
man.
Yeah, that was really our bodyguard.
What was his name, Rock?
What's his name? Bigfoot? I want to say his name was Bigfoot. But he was huge. He had to be like about a good, I think it was 7 feet, like 6'11", had to be like a good 450, 470. He was a big dude. He's a really big guy. He was very aggressive.
Right.
You know, so we didn't want that around us for our fans, so we had to let him go. So after that, we just kind of just was drifting with security. If we had security along the way, you know, we would tell them, yo, you can't do this, can't do that. You can't be grabbing people and doing this. Definitely, no. Because we're not like that. We're like you said, we're approachable. We weren't like all into this don't come near me kind of stuff.
Right, right,
Because one
right,
thing I hate about success is when you get to the point where you're working so hard to get there.
right,
Now you don't want nobody to touch you once you're there.
right, right,
So you did all this work, put in all these hours to get yourself to a certain pinnacle. Now you don't want to be touched. You don't want to be talked to.
right.
What did you do all the work for? You
Yeah,
know, so
like what's the point? I definitely get you on that, man, because and I think that was another thing that not only did you guys make good fun music, um, you know, was the whole thing of trying to be super lyrical or this, that, and the other and all of that. It's just I just feel like you guys were being y'all were always organic. With everything that you guys was doing as far as like creating the music though, was it a collaborative effort? Because you know when you have groups, sometimes it can be difficult with having three different personalities and
right.
nah, I don't want to do that song or this. Talk to me about the creating process when you guys are actually in the studio creating, when you're on this level now.
You know what? A lot of the stuff was just well, after the second album, Curtis Blow was no longer working with us. After the Fat Boys Are Back album, um, our manager wanted to part ways with Curtis Blow because he didn't want us. He didn't want Curtis to have that certain kind of sound. He didn't want us to be locked in that certain kind of sound, which
Right,
I wanted that sound for us. But you know, once you get to a certain stratosphere, whatever you want to call it, they have different ideas for you. You know,
right,
you're really not thinking for yourself after a while. So us going inside the studio was really a process of Mark just writing his rhymes. I'm writing my rhymes. We'll sit down and talk about it. Yo, what you got? He'll say his rhyme, I'll say mine. All right, let's go with that. So
right.
it really wasn't too much, like you said, lyrical. Like we wasn't being, no metaphors and saying subliminal stuff and all this
Yeah,
crazy stuff
yeah,
like that. It was just us just having a good time and taking it back to the days where we would just rap on the porch at 11 o'clock at night, just me, him, and Buff. So it
right.
wasn't really about trying. You gotta remember back then nobody's really lyrical anyway. You had probably
Yeah,
had Mo
facts.
D, you
Yeah,
probably had Melly Mel. Rakim came along after a while, and Keras One. They were lyrical, but up until then, there wasn't really no deep lyrical lyrics coming out. It
right.
was just fun stuff, and we were just the. I mean, I'm not going to say we're the epitome of hip hop, but if you look up rap in the dictionary at that time, you would see Run DMC. You'll probably see us. You probably see Houdini, and you probably see Curtis Blow.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Later on down the road, you'll probably see a Nas and Jay-Z and Eminem, these characters. But at that time, rap was what it was. That's why it was being imitated like that. You would see
yeah,
Fred Flintstone rapping on TV and Run
yeah,
DMC gear. That's
yeah.
what they thought rap was. You know what I mean? So
Right, right. Man, that's dope though, man. Just hearing that, Now, at this point, you guys are everywhere. You crossed over, you got hella endorsements,
yeah.
commercials, and then the movie stuff come along. Talk to me about how that came along. We got Crush Groove, which is a classic. It's a forever
Right.
classic. Talk to me about that opportunity.
Crush Groove came with Crush after Crush Groove. Um, Warner Brothers wanted to do a three-picture movie deal with us because of the success of Crush Groove, and us so-called stealing the show in the movie, whatever. They wanted to do a three-picture movie deal, and the first movie was Disorderlies.
Right, which is another
And
classic to me. I enjoyed that when I just watched that 2 days ago. Loved it, man.
yeah, Disorderlies was it's a cult classic now. I mean, a lot of people, they walk up to me and say they love Disorders. Just watched it last night. I just watched it last night. I'm like, really? So we shot Disorderlies in California, maybe like 3 houses down from the Playboy Mansion. So
Wow.
yeah, at night you can hear the noise and stuff in the Playboy Mansion. And matter of fact, the same house Sylvester Stallone did a movie about arm wrestling.
Oh, over
Um,
the top, over the top.
Over the Top. That's the same house we shot the movie in.
Come on.
Yeah, that mansion. And
Wow, man.
so we shot the movie over there. And fun fact, Art Carney from The Honeymooners was supposed to be. He played the character Ed Norton. He was supposed to be the old man in the movie.
Right.
But the last second he backed out because he wanted more money. So that's why Ralph Bellamy stepped in and he took
Which
over
wasn't
the
which was good.
which
Which
was
was
good
good.
because
I
I
really
had no idea, I never heard of Ralph Bellamy at that time. I had no idea this guy was Hollywood royalty.
yes.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yes.
what's crazy is that when we were doing Disorderlies, me and Buff was watching Trading Places, right?
Yeah.
I said, yo, that's the guy that's in the movie. So we went to our road manager. He said, yeah, that's him. Like, you didn't know that?
Yeah.
You didn't know who the heck I was. So, of course, he didn't know who the hell we was, but he took a liking to us because he liked our slang. Because back then, everything out our mouths was, know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know what these guys are saying, but they're fun, you know? So.
Man, Crush Groove has so many big people in it, man. Just being just an all-star cast of people who went on to do so many different amazing things. Like I'm asking you these things, man, because like I feel like I was there because watching that movie, I feel like really carved a major path when it came down to hip hop fashion. The way we walk, the way we talk, the glasses, the jewelry. You guys always had on fly gear, from the jackets, man. I was trying to find them jackets, everything, the big laces, the Adidas. I mean, the hats to this. I mean, we this was a pivotal moment in time in that era, man, where like you guys were on the forefront, really like trend setting and setting the trends of what to wear and all of this. Just talk to me about that filming it with so many different iconic people in this movie. What was the set like?
Oh, the set every morning. I give you a funny story. So we shoot in Crush Groove in New York, of course.
Right.
And I think it was on 14th Street, if I'm not mistaken. So every morning we were getting picked up inside this station wagon.
Right.
Every morning like clockwork. It was 3 songs on the radio. There I Go Again by Force MDs. I Wonder If I Take You Home by Lisa, and Don't You Dog Me by Fat Boys. Like clockwork as soon as we got in the car. That's when I started realizing, this stuff is on rotation. This is how they play their songs all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get to the set, and Michael Schultz, who was he was the director for Disorderlies. He was also the director for Coolie High, Car Wash, Which Way Is Up.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Michael Schultz was that dude. And we get to the set, and he wanted us to have this round circle every morning. And we just clap our hands and talk about the good time we're going to have on the set today and all this crap, kind of crazy stuff. And you look over, you see Sheila E. Sheila E. was like the coolest person in the world to work with.
Right.
No ego. I mean, she's working with one of the biggest artists in music history, Prince. She's his protege. But she's just so down to earth. Just shooting the movie every day. We had to be on set every day because we was getting written into the script every day. We were only supposed to be in the movie for like 5 minutes.
Come on.
But what happened? Yeah, it's supposed to be an exclusive Run DMC movie. But what happened was Warner Brothers took a liking to us.
Right.
And they wanted us in the movie more and more. And that's how we got written more into the script. And one crazy story. So one day Prince is coming to the set to see Sheila E., of course. So
come on, Rock, man, you blowing my off now, man.
So Michael Schultz, we got a live audience out there. We got an audience of like maybe 75 to 100 people out there, and we're on stage. So we get the extras to come in. So he tells everybody who's in the movie and the extras, Prince is coming today. Mind you, this is New York. New Yorkers don't care about fame. You know what I'm saying? They let you know what it is. He said, Prince is coming today. Please don't say nothing to him. Don't stare at him. Don't ask him for an autograph. I'm like, oh, you're talking to the wrong people.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
so we're on the set and we're horsing around as always. So Buff had pushed me really hard. And when he pushed me, I fell back. Of course, you know who I fell back into.
Man, come on, Rock, man.
I fall back into Prince. I didn't know it at first. So when I fall back, I kind of turned my head and I'm like, oh, like that.
Yeah,
And like, he never breaks stride. Like, he's the coolest walking brother on the planet. He never breaks stride. Like, he just kind of just held me up a little bit and he just kept walking.
wow.
Now, behind him is a brick wall, which is his bodyguard. This guy's like the biggest human I've ever seen in my damn life.
Right.
He's giving me the evil eye. I'm like, hey, man, I apologize. I'm like, yo. So I'm like, yo, man, why you push me into Prince, man? You know, but he was cool about it. Like I said, he never broke stride. He just kept walking.
Right. Right. What was Ron DMC like, man? Because Ron seemed like he, because all we got is at this moment is just basically, the characters that we see and you guys was the fun with Ron and DMC.
Right.
And talk to me about, because you were actually there, man, and around these guys all the time. Yeah. What were they like?
Ron was every day was let's rhyme. I got this new rhyme I wrote last. That's how he talks. Got this new rhyme I wrote last night, Kool Rock. Everything was emphasized the word Kool Rock.
Yeah.
Got this new rhyme I wrote last night, and he needs Buff to do the beatbox for him. And LL would come in, we get a little cipher going on or whatever, and then we got to go shoot a scene or whatever, and then he comes back to it. Let's rhyme again. So he just wanted to rhyme all freaking time,
man.
And that was Ron. He was just so boisterous and so loud, and had to let everybody know he was in the room.
Oh yeah, the flashy, just
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Definitely. I mean, DMC was more laid back. You didn't know he was there, but Ron let you know he was there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And LL Cool J was the same way.
He was the same way.
Oh yeah, he was maybe they call him the son of Ron, and I believed it because he acted just like Ron at that time. They were just alike.
That's crazy, man. So let me ask you this. So now, as the group is you guys are broke. Y'all broke barriers. Things are really, really, really going great. On so many different levels or whatever. At what point? Because like you said, a lot of amazing things going on. We got the movies, we got, the records are doing well, but at the same time, at what point do you guys, have involvement as far as on the business side of it, as far as the publishing and knowing what's going on as far as because you guys are selling millions of records?
Yeah, none. But I mean, I'll be lying to say that we was up on our business. I'd be 1,000% lying to say that we were really up with our business. I mean, we put it in the hands of our lawyers and our accountants, but you can't put it in the hands of your mother and father. They didn't know anything about the business. So we're like fish out of water. You know what I mean? So if we're handed $100,000, we're happy with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're still paying mortgage on houses. You know what I mean? So we're still paying car notes and some for some of our cars, but at the same time, it's like somebody said when it came down to what was going on back in the day with our contracts and other rappers' contract, like everybody was learning. Everybody was learning that. I don't buy that BS. Everybody knew what they were doing when they were screwing over the artists.
Fact.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
I don't buy that. Everybody was learning. And
your kids at the end of the day.
Exactly. So we're signing a lot of things that we have no idea what we're signing away, what kind of publishing we're giving away. And I'm just saying this to let people know that if you're going to get into this entertainment industry and any spectrum, I'm talking about music, sports, whatever, That's called the entertainment industry.
Right.
Anytime anything comes on TV, it's a form of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get into this industry, you got to know what you're signing away, you know,
Right.
and you can learn a hard lesson about it, or you can sit down and talk to somebody that's been there already and going to give you some advice about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, we weren't up on our business, not at all. You know,
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, yeah, they wasn't robbing us. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
everybody was getting robbed. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's just the way it is. I tell people this all the time. If they can rob Michael Jackson, what makes you think they can't rob you? You understand? So if they can take stuff away from Michael Jackson, what makes you think they won't rob you? But
You think that'll ever change, Rock? I mean, do you see
no,
any similarities between now and back in the day? Like, you think that'll ever change, or that's just the entertainment business?
that's just the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry is, you came to us. We didn't come to you. You came knocking on our door. We can find another you. You understand what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
can find another you. There's another you standing on the corner. There's another you in the playground. There's another you, doing whatever.
We
But
can make another you. We got
we
so
could make another you.
Right.
We could clone you if we wanted to.
Yeah.
So the thing is that you got to get what you can get, and get it all if you can, and just step away from it. If you stay
Right.
too long in it, if you're not making no progress anymore, you're going to get the life sucked out of you. You know what I mean? So after a while, your popularity going to slow down. This is what people don't understand in life, period. Not just the music industry. If you got $100 million in the bank, you think it's going to last a lifetime. But if you don't know how to manage it, that $100 million is going to be gone within 5 years.
Right.
The same thing in the music industry. You can see all the O's in your bank account, but if you don't know how to manage that money, and if you thinking this money is going to keep coming for the rest of your life, you're sadly mistaken. You know what I mean? It's just like your popularity. Some people think they're never going to go a time where they're not popular anymore. Your legacy is there from your music, but you're never going to be as popular as you was from your first 2 or 3 albums. That's never going to happen again, And some people can't live with that. That's why they start doing zany things like going on reality shows to keep themselves relevant, just doing crazy stuff, just staying inside the limelight.
Right.
Me, for one, I can give a damn about being in the limelight. It's like, after a while, you just want to live. You want to go back to being a civilian.
Right.
And
is that possible? Like, you know what I mean? Because like with the type of, like I said, it's not every day that artists can reach and obtain the type of success that you guys achieved on so many different levels. It wasn't just music. You guys conquered movies as well. That's a huge accomplishment, but like you said, everything that goes up
must come down.
It definitely have to come down. On the coming down part of it though, Rock, talk to me about how that affected you mentally, because some people they can't detach away from the
they can't.
Talk to me about that as it started to unravel. You guys going back and forth with management. You're starting to get older now. You're starting to be more aware of, hold up, man, we making multi-millions of dollars, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, we eating, but at the end of the day, they really eating. Now you're asking questions. I don't think they like you asking questions and stuff like that. Y'all conversating amongst each other. Talk to me about the coming down part of it.
Coming down part was more like you're still relatively very young. That's the thing about it, is that we were still extremely young. So at this time, you're looking at it like, okay, so if this is slowing down, I got a chance to be young again and have fun. So now I can just hang out with the fellas. I can go shoot pool, shoot basketball at 2 a.m. Do what I want now. I'm not structured anymore to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and lay down at 12 at night. Nobody's going to call me and say you got 5 interviews to do today. Then at night you got to go to a club and do this and do that. And there's no more of that. Now it's like I'm running around like a chicken with our heads cut off. We're just running around, just having fun. So we're not even thinking about the fact that we should be looking at getting the money that we're supposed to be owed.
Right.
We're looking at it like more. We're looking at it like
we're free now.
Exactly, we're free. Like we're free. We ain't gotta do all this crazy stuff anymore. We don't have to go overseas and stay there for like 3-4 months, at a time. We can just chill out.
Right.
So it doesn't really hit you till you're like maybe about 30 years old, 35, and you start saying, damn, where's my damn money? You know what I'm saying? Like you're looking at your publishing checks and your royalty checks, like something ain't right. We sold just such amount of records. There's such amount of records. Where the hell is the money?
Records, like we know what that money's supposed to look like.
Exactly. And it's like somebody said, I think it was forgot who said it. I don't know if it was DMX or Lisa Left Eye. Say if you sell such and such on an independent label, the label's going to make like such and such millions of dollars.
That was Left Eye said that.
That was a Left Eye, and that's what I started thinking about. That's what I started bringing to Buff and Mart. Like, yo, we were selling this back then. That company was making at least about a good $10-11 million. And we was taking home like 100,000, 200,000 to split.
Yeah.
Like where the hell is the money? Yeah. So that's when you start thinking about stuff like that. But but while your popularity is coming down, you're not thinking like that because you're just young and you're still young and having fun.
Right.
And you're doing all the things that you couldn't do, and you're playing catch up, really. You're playing catch up, and a lot of your peers are like, and looking at you like, you don't hang around us. You're like, y'all superstars.
Right.
Like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? We just want to have fun. But so it's, I can tell an artist who wants to get into the music industry to keep his mind on his money. But it's like talking to a brick wall with some of these people because everybody thinks it's not going to happen to them. And in some cases, it don't happen to them. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, you better safe than sorry. It's different now because a lot of these guys, the way they show money on IG and
I was going to ask you about that.
Do the money phone stuff and jewelry and all these cars and houses they got, and you're like, damn, I know this guy ain't selling no damn 10 million records. Like, how are they obtaining all this money? But then I start to think back, advance money. You know what I'm saying? Advance money. We were getting advance money. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to tell these young people how you're getting this money. It is one thing my manager did tell us when we started touring. The only way you're going to make money in this industry as an artist if you tour and do shows. You're not going to make money just sitting around waiting for a publishing check and a royalty check.
Right.
You got to do shows. You got to do tours. That's how your money comes in. If you wait around for a publishing check that only comes every 6 months out of the year, you're going to be broke. You're going to be behind on your bills. You're going to be behind on your car notes, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So one thing about him, he kept us touring. Like we were staying home for no more than maybe 3 or 4 days, go right back out on another tour, so we didn't have time to be idle. It was just like up, get home, we unpack, buy new clothes or wash the clothes we got, right back out on tour. You know what I mean? So that's one thing about him. He did keep us on tour. But then again, it goes back to the thing of me saying about a manager, job is to make money for the artist. Because if the manager wants to make money, if he wants his 15% or 20%, whatever they're getting nowadays, they're going to make sure the artist is out there getting their money. So that's the way it is, man. It's just nowadays it's just I can't put a finger on the rappers because I don't really listen to it like that no more. I don't listen to new art. I listen to a lot of the Public Enemy and Big Daddy Kane. The rap music I'm accustomed to hearing. I'm not knocking these new brothers because they out there doing. A lot of people don't realize what it takes to make a song. Some people could look back and say, "Oh, that's the dumbest song I've ever heard." Right. But somebody listen to that song and say they can market it. You know what I mean? So obviously, it's not the dumbest song you ever heard. They could market it. You understand what I'm saying? Right. But just want to say one thing, being that we're live show. I'm looking at the rapper like a Young Dolph who got, he was murdered today. He was killed today in Memphis. Young Dolph.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This true?
Yeah.
I've been running around all day, man, just trying to prepare and doing stuff with the radio. And I seen a news briefing about that, but it's a lot of news. I didn't have time to sit down and dive in on it. Man. Are you serious?
Yeah. Yep. Memphis, Tennessee. He was killed. I think he was 37 years old.
Wow.
And it just brings me back to a line Ice Cube had in a song called Us.
Yeah.
Where he say, we can't enjoy ourselves, too busy jealous of each other's wealth.
Right.
And I'm looking at the story of this young brother just being killed. I think he was killed in his car or something like that.
Oh,
and he had a hit out on him. And you look at that, you say to yourself, how did hip hop get to the point of all of this craziness happen with where there's been East Coast, West Coast beef from back in the day to, young rappers getting killed for pretty much just being themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just crazy, man. I mean, back when we were doing our thing, one DJ was Scott LaRock. He was murdered in the Bronx. But that's all you really heard of that. There were rappers getting robbed here and there. We got robbed in the studio once at gunpoint. But now it's like you can't say nothing about one another without it ending in some kind of violence.
And I was gonna ask you about that too, because Buff and Dougie Fresh had a little thing or whatever, but it never escalated to. And that was the thing I liked about. And I wouldn't even call it beef. I would call it being competitive back then. You know what I mean? Like everybody wanted to be the top or whatever, but it never escalated to the point of death. It's like it always stayed on record. And I was going to ask you about that. And it's very funny that you brought that up, man, that we're talking about this right now, because I wanted to get your perspective on today's beef. With the younger generation, man, these guys are not even living long enough to even celebrate or even enjoy any of their wealth that they're out there earning.
Yeah, because they're so wrapped up in what they're saying, and I don't think it's really the artists. I think it's the people around the artists, the agitators.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
The entourages
Because think about it, what artist really wants to lose what they have by going out there and killing one another?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not the artist. The artist is just the artist. They're going to say what they're going to say on wax or whatever they do nowadays, and they're just going to keep it at that. It's the agitators that keep pushing it up. It's the people like YouTube or whoever is running the social media, the bloggers who keep this crap going. You know what I mean? They don't look at the ramifications of it. They just want to have some gossip to say, you know, and it's just a shame that the rappers today can't enjoy their success. They can't even. They gotta walk on pins and needles. They can't say the wrong things because they're gonna upset another rapper.
It's taking away the organicness of being an artist. That's art.
Yeah.
The graffiti people. It's like everything now is on a microscope being watched now. It's like you can't even be organic anymore. Is it safe to even be organic anymore? Because if you're not being this or being that, then
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm dealing with artists now who are these guys are not 19, 20 years old. Talk about guys like, I'm gonna say their names, like Pen Game Classic, who got an album coming out Saturday.
Right.
Castle's Theme. These guys are lyricists, though. They don't get into the whole involvement of beef and beefing on records and tough guy stuff and murder, all that stuff.
Right.
And what I think they're trying to do, guys like City the Great, who also coming out, and these guys are just trying to bring back lyrics. You're trying to bring back the fun in hip hop and just give people a different perspective of what hip hop is all about. One thing I told to someone last night is that if you put out the message that you don't need a certain engine to get to where you got to go at.
Yeah.
I'm talking about radio, because a lot of people still want to get on radio for some odd reason, but you have so many vehicles to get to your destination now.
Facts.
Back when we were coming up, our destination was radio.
Yeah.
The record company, you got to have a radio hit. You don't have to have that now. You can get to your destination without radio.
Right.
I think if artists start thinking like that, radio will be a thing of the past, and you can start dealing with internet radio, things like Clubhouse radio. You won't have to have mainstream radio to have success. I think the only people nowadays who want radio success is people who want to hear themselves in the radio. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, who listens to the radio anymore like that? But
you're right.
I think artists just need to take control of this culture. I think rappers need to take control of the culture.
Right.
And not let the entities and the powers, the so-called powers that be, run this industry anymore or run this culture anymore.
Right. It's you know, it's just so funny, man. Like, you know, coming from, and I think that it's a blessing that we are here, you know, and you know, you before me, but me, I always tell people all the time when I have talk about hip hop and eras, you know,
right.
And I value and really appreciate the era that I grew up in, being able to see 2-3 decades of hip hop and music just evolve. And I always go back to that time period, the time period when you guys came out, all of those artists from you guys to Run DMCs, the LLs, just watching everything. Everybody was different.
Right.
Nobody wasn't trying to be like anybody else. Everything was special. Yeah. You loved that artist because of what they were doing. The music was different. You know what I mean? It's just like I you know, I miss those times. I know that things can evolve and you know, life has to evolve. Yeah, you know, but at the same time, I just really feel like social media is a gift and a curse.
Oh yeah, I always say that. I always say it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift because of the information you can get, but the curse is the weirdos that's on there. You know what I mean?
TV, you know, all of this.
Yeah, it's like it's so many weird people on social media, and people who have to hide behind a keyboard and just try to destroy somebody else's life or careers, because they could never accomplish anything. You know, and it's just it's a beautiful thing to have the internet because of the fact that it keeps guys like us, Run DMC and LL Cool J and Houdini, Curtis Blow, Run DMC, you know, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Public Enemy. It keeps us going. It keeps us alive. You know, you got young people diving into, say, I never heard of this group. Oh, wow, I love this song, Fat Boys Are Back. I love Rock Box, you know, that kind of stuff. But on the flip side of that, you got so many people who are just hell-bent on trying to keep something going that should have died from day one. So if you got beef with somebody, I think somebody was going back and forth at one point, and I wrote a comment and saying that, you know, you guys are too old for this. You know, why can't you just call each other as opposed to going on social media and letting everybody in on your beef?
And then they're the gas. They're the gas. That's the gas right there.
Right.
So pour more gas on a fire that's already burning. That could be put out. But then you got the fans, social media, the text messages going back and forth, fueling it up. Everything for views and likes and all of this stuff or whatever. And these are people's lives. And families being affected by this. Like, for instance, Young Dolph. He's no longer here with us anymore.
Now, if somebody would have just called somebody, sat down and had a meeting, you know, just talk things out. I don't know the real story behind it. I'm just speculating, but I'm just saying in beef period. You got two artists beefing, you know, why don't you just call one another? Why would you go on social media for the whole world? Not just America is seeing what you're typing. The whole world is seeing this. And you type this stuff out. At the push of a button. Once you press send, you can't bring it back.
Exactly.
You know, once you press send, you can't bring it back. And now you got everybody engulfed in your personal matters with this other individual. And they're going to keep it going.
Right.
They're not going to stop until one of you are beat down or dead. They're going to keep it going because they're the Don Kings of the internet. They're
Right.
the hype men, But I wish people would have more of a level head and just stop taking things to social media. You know,
Right.
I don't mind the fun aspect of it. People dancing on TikTok and all that kind of stuff. It is what it is. Things tend to burn out after a while. As you
Absolutely.
see, women are not twerking anymore. That's just becoming a thing of the past. You know what I mean? So that's a
Right.
good thing. But
Right.
it's just a thing where, um, like you said, it's a gift and a curse. It's definitely a gift and a curse.
Right. Talk to me. Was weight ever a conversation within the group with you guys or whatever? Because sadly enough, we lost Buff,
Yeah.
and then now we lose Prince Markie D too, man. Talk to me about the effect of that, growing up. You guys just wasn't just put together along the way. Here, this guy from over here, you guys grew up together.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's different, man. Nobody likes to lose a loved one, but at the end of the day, you guys spent years and years together and done something that's legendary and will never be forgotten. Talk to me about the feeling, the impact of losing your brothers.
I mean, it's like you say. I mean, you put the emphasis in the word brother because I met Mark when he was 7, I was 8. So me and Mark actually
Mm,
grew up together.
right,
We didn't meet Buff till we were like 13, 14 years old. That's when we met Buff. But we became friends like, you know, instantly. So it was like maybe 20 of us growing up in the same neighborhood.
right.
And so we was all just little kids just running around like acting like little boys would act, very mischievous. But the thing is, me, Mark, and Buff just had a chemistry from day one.
Right.
I don't know what it was. I mean, I don't know how. Maybe I mean I can't say maybe. It's just God just put us together and just said this is going to happen for you later on down the road because things are going to get really dark in your neighborhood. So I need you to get your families out of here. That's how I always look at it. Like God
Right.
just said, I'm gonna take you three out of this neighborhood. You're gonna take your families with you, and I'm gonna give you the success. I also think, and I don't want nobody to think I'm crazy. I also think God gave us that success and said, okay, I want you at a certain time to get out of it.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like
deep. That's deep, Rock.
I want you here, but then I want you to back out of it because I'm going to give it to you for a time.
Right.
And that's what I think. That's the conclusion I come up with. But just growing up with them guys, and you got to realize, like, there were certain times on tours we had nobody but us three.
Facts.
So we would just spend hours inside the hotel room just talking and talking and talking and kicking it, and just us three just chilling. So when I got the word about Buff, it was like I was shocked because I had just saw him the day before that.
Come on,
You
man.
know, yeah, I just saw Buff the day before. It was on a Friday I saw him, and Saturday he passed away. And with Mark, I had no idea what happened. When
Really?
my phone was pretty much out, and plugged it up, and I just got hit with all these text messages. It was just coming from everywhere,
Man.
and I thought they were like, I didn't think people were playing a joke. I just thought it was like, what Mark are they talking about?
Right. Not my more. Not my.
Yeah. So who are they talking about? So I'm just seeing all these text messages come and missed phone calls, like about 30 or 40 missed phone calls. And so I didn't even look at the text messages really. Um, so I was going through my phone or whatever, and I was about to check out the weather to see what the weather's going to be.
Right.
And that's when I seen what's these people called? The gossip people.
Yeah. TMZ.
TMZ. I seen TMZ printed on there. And I looked at the phone and I said, what the? And that's when I started looking at the text messages.
Right.
And that's when it hit me. I'm like, oh, and And crazy thing, I called Mark's phone.
No.
I called his phone just to see, like, because I was hoping he would pick up, and I was gonna just drag on him all day. Yo, you're dead. You know what I'm saying? Just people saying you're gone. But yeah, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. I mean, right now I still, it's just it's like an out of body experience to even think that these two individuals are no longer here,
That's
because
what I was going to ask you, Rock, because you got to think all of your memories. These guys are in every chapter of it.
yeah, yeah. And it's what's crazy. I think about them every day and night. Every day. There's not a day that go by I don't think about. I think about the stories. I think about the jokes. I think about the fights. I think about everything that we did every day and night. Everything comes back, and I try to put myself in this situation again. Like, remember the time we was in California and this happened?
Yeah.
Remember the time we were overseas and this happened?
Yeah.
And you start reliving the stories in your head. You start even laughing out loud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got to be by yourself when you laugh out loud. People might think you're crazy, but so yeah, it's kind of like an out of body experience. But I believe it's going to come a time where not just me, but all of us are going to see our people again that we lost. So that's what I got to look forward to, And I'm thinking in my head that we're going to pick up the conversation where it left off at.
That's how it always been, Rock. Remember? That's how it always been. You and Prince, man, y'all, you guys wouldn't even talk for months. And then, and like you said, y'all will pick up the conversation.
Pick up the conversation we left off at.
Before, like, yo, that's crazy.
And the conversation we last had was, I told him, let's do a song together. Really? He's like, wow. Yeah, he said, why are we doing it? I said, I don't know. I just think we should do a song together for some reason. We should do a last song together. So he texted me back a day later. What did you have in mind? I said, well, I'm thinking of the Fatback Band, I Found Love.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, yo, that's dope. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to call you back and I'm going to try to put something together. He said, all right, bet. And that was our last conversation. And that was our last conversation.
And he seems so happy, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I follow him, man, and he's so still funny as ever. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, he just seemed like he was happy, man. Like he was entertaining. He got adjusted to the social media thing, started doing this thing on there and stuff, man. And it was devastating, man. Like to get the news. I think I was on my way to the studio, man, and I heard it that morning, and I had just seen him on live. They was doing a show, and that next day, all the headlines going crazy or whatever. And I don't be believing all that stuff, but a couple reputable ones came across the screen, and I knew it was real.
I was talking to his ex-girlfriend, Shelly, and we were saying the same thing. Like, he loved life so much.
Yeah.
Like, I would have thought. I always told him, I said, you're gonna be like 90 years old. You're gonna be like Hugh Hefner. You're gonna still be chasing girls at 90 years old.
Markie has stories for days, man. He tells the funniest stories ever, man.
Yeah, he was funny. I mean, some of the stories that me and Mark used to tell on tour, we would make up these characters, and we would take these characters and just have these characters like they were real characters. We would just make them up.
Right.
Like the zillionaire who was funding us, that kind of stuff, like crazy characters we would just make up. Buff didn't understand these stories because me and Buff had our own different kind of stories that we would make up. But me and Mark had these crazy elaborate stories, especially overseas. We would stay in each other's room for like till 5 or 6 in the morning. Because overseas, once you get your work done, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The rest of the day you're not doing nothing. Right. Because over here is like 8 hours behind.
Right.
So we would be up to like 6 o'clock in the morning, just kicking it and talking, just making up these different kind of characters. And we would still talk about those characters to this day, Man. Mr. Potts, So if Mark was alive, I would just say Mr. Potts, and he would just start laughing. So it was just crazy stories we had.
Yo, man, That's dope, Rock, man. 5 albums, man. So much success, so many memories, man. So much to be proud of. I'm proud, and I just want to thank you for your contribution to hip hop, man, and the contribution of you guys and the doors and all of the work and grind that you guys put in, man, to make way for this thing that we all love called hip hop. And I'm giving you your flowers right now. Me personally, I'm telling you how much I love you, and I'm telling you right now, man, I appreciate everything that you guys blessed us with, man, over the years, man. I really, really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate that to the highest degree, man. I appreciate. I mean, it's certain people that you can pretty much tell your story to, and they can relate. But you got a lot of people who don't know the origins and the backstory of the Fat Boys, Disco 3. They just look at it as they picked it up off of Wipeout, and they go from there. A lot of people don't really know the backstory of how the group was formed, and the stuff we had to do to get to where we had to go at. So it's a humbling experience, to say the least, because we came from humble backgrounds.
Right. Good families, everything.
Yeah, good families. I hate to say the ghetto. I hate to use that word, but we came from there was no silver spoons in our neighborhoods at all. It was people had to work to get to where they had to get to. You know what I'm saying? They had to work for this. So that's what, pretty much that's what rap is, though. If you look at rapping, you look at boxing, there were never no rich rappers.
No.
There was never no rich boxers.
Right.
Everybody came from impoverished backgrounds, from poor backgrounds. You know what I mean? That's why everybody has a story to tell.
Right.
But it was a fun ride, man. It was fun. So we had a lot of fun. While the two individuals were here, they had so much fun. They had more fun in one day than the average man or teenager or young person can have in a lifetime.
Right.
And I've seen some of the crazy zany things these two maniacs did, up close. So they were crazy. They lived up to the crazy part, So they were crazy.
I got a few pictures I want to show you, and when I show them to you, just tell me what come to mind when you see them.
All right. Oh, that's Michael Schultz. Is that Michael Schultz? That's the set of Disorderlies. No, that's let me put my glasses on real quick. Yeah, that's Michael Schultz. That should be the set of Crush Groove. My bad.
Right.
That's Michael Schultz in that picture. And that's the attire we had on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fresh as usual, you know what I mean? Let me show you this.
Oh, that's crushing. That's crushing. You know what's funny? I'll give you a crazy story. We were going to put Run DMC's hat and LL Cool J's hat on the bottom of that car.
Are you serious, Rock?
Yeah. Our manager talked us out of it.
Man, they would have went crazy, man.
They would have went crazy. That's why we called the album Crushing.
Right.
Yeah, like when Mo D had the Kango under the hat, or How You Like Me Now.
Yeah,
we were gonna put the Run DMC hat and LL Cool J hat.
Oh man,
yeah, we were asking for it. Oh, that's the first album. Yeah, that's the first album.
Who idea was it to have the Jailhouse Suit song?
Oh, that was our manager's wife, Linda West, and she was our costume designer, and she came up with the costumes with the hardcore reggae dreadlocks,
right?
The jailhouse rap outfits that you see on there, the yellow jackets. That was all her ideas.
Right.
Very colorful stuff. We were very colorful.
Absolutely fun, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I was blessed. I was blessed from Samantha, man, sent me something that was refreshing to my ears. I was excited about it, and I've been jamming it ever since, man, just to actually
hear it again.
Talk to me about the single Hush Man with Cocaine, produced by the Chill and Rob T.
Yeah, well, first of all, shout out to Samantha Lavelle. She's gonna make some big strides in this industry.
She's amazing, man.
Yeah, she's gonna be doing some big things, and she's a hard worker too. So she's gonna I told her just to stay focused, don't look back at your work. I tell all artists that never look back at your work. When you look back at your work, that's when you lose focus.
Right.
If you look back at what you've done, you're like, oh man, I've made it.
Yeah.
So just stay focused. So my boy Cocaine hits me up on DM. So he's like, yo, I'm Cocaine. I already knew who Cocaine was, but he's running down this resume of who he was.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, I said, this is the real Cocaine. So I went to his page at first. I'm like, this can't be the real Cocaine.
Right.
So he said, I got this song, man, if you want to get down with it. And he sent me the track, and I heard it, and it had that kind of bass and that kind of jailhouse rap bass line to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it was dope. I was like, oh, okay. So I went into the studio like 2 days later and laid down the verse and just sent it back. And he loved the verse. And we shot the video in Gershwin Park in East New York, Brooklyn. And we shot the other half in Manhattan. Ran into Tretch out there. He's in the video.
What?
Yeah, Tretch is in the video. We ran into him. I think it was on 43rd Street, if I'm not mistaken. And I was coming out of McDonald's using the restroom or whatever, and Tretch was out there already. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Right.
Like, yo, man, I'm about to be in the video. I'm like, oh, word. So we had fun, man. Everybody loves that track, though. Everybody loves that track.
And you know what I really like? I love the sticker.
Yeah.
Then that bass drop just dropped, man. It's just, and then they got that little bell in it.
Yeah. He took it back, man.
Oh my God! It back to that hip hop feel.
Yeah,
man.
They did their thing on the production tip, man. They did their thing on that, and I salute Cocaine, man. He's just an incredible artist.
Yeah, shout out to Cocaine too, man.
Yeah, he's an incredible artist, and he loves, he has so much love for the group. He has so much love for the group, and like I said, we just shot. We had fun shooting. It was pouring down rain when we got to the park, so we shot the video. It stopped raining. You know what I'm saying? So
won't he do it though, Rock?
Oh man, won't he do it? Yeah, man. We had fun, man. We had fun, and matter of fact, I'm doing something this Saturday. It's something to bring in the holidays. Just a little something for the fans of Run DMC. Well, I got DMC coming on. I got Chub Rock. I got one of my sponsors, Dana White. He's going to come on.
Not Chubb, man.
Yeah, Chubb is gonna come on, and we just gotta kick it with them. Just let people know about what the holidays mean to them. Right. Because the holidays are coming up, and we're gonna give out some money. To the fans out there, to the people that's making comments and all that stuff, and just give them like a couple of dollars in their Cash App to kick off the holiday.
Right.
So
that's dope. If y'all need us to help y'all on promoting that, whatever, y'all get the content together or whatever, make sure Sam shoot it over to us or whatever, and we'll help promote that as well on our end as well.
All right, definitely, because the flyer's out. We had the flyer come out yesterday. Okay. And we're gonna start this Saturday at 4 o'clock, from 4 o'clock to 5:30. So it's gonna be on my IG live, and so we just gonna have fun. Just talk to a couple of people. And I met Halle Berry last Saturday at a UFC event.
Oh, you got to tell me about that, Rock. Now, come on.
Yeah, man. So I'm at a UFC event. Got invited by Dana White. Dana White is he's a huge Fat Boys fan. Every 10 minutes they were playing "Can You Feel It" at the Madison Square Garden Arena. The DJ was playing it.
Right.
And so one of the UFC fighters was talking to me. He thought I was a UFC fighter all this time. He kept asking me to the point that he realized I wasn't no damn UFC fighter.
Right.
So he pointed. He said, "That's Halle Berry right there." So she's sitting like maybe 3 feet in front of me. I said, "That's not Halle Berry." I said, "Man, you're drinking too much. This is a UFC fight I'm talking to. This guy can put me in a headlock in a heartbeat." He said, "That's Halle Berry." So she stands up and I see her profile. I said, "Joe, that is Halle Berry."
How's she looking, person, Rock?
Oh man, she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. She just like she looked. She's tiny though. She's real petite.
Right.
She's very petite. That's why I looked at her like, wow, she's really tiny. But so Dana White calls me over and he goes, Rock, I want you to meet Halle Berry.
Oh, he introduced you, Rock?
Yeah, he introduced us.
Oh my God.
Yo, this woman hugs me so freaking tight.
Rock. Oh.
Yo, I'm thinking she gonna put me in a sleeper hold, man. The way she was hugging my neck, I'm like, whoa. So she's like, how she's a big fan of the group. She grew up listening to our music, and she was there because she's putting together a movie about one of the UFC fighters, one of the female fighters. I forgot her name. I forget the last name. I know her first name is Rose, and so that's what she was telling me, and so yeah, man, it was cool meeting her. It was cool meeting her, and she's a real cool person. I saw Stephen A. Smith. I saw Stephen Smith looking like George Jefferson.
Yeah.
You know, a little slumped show, just walking around thinking he's the man and all that. I'm like, look at this guy, this character. But it was fun, man. I've never been to a UFC event before.
Right.
But I got so much respect for those guys, man. My goodness, the punishment they take, man.
Yeah, I definitely got a lot of respect for them too, Rock. I ain't gonna lie. They more I tip my hat off to them.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that to save my damn life, but more power to them.
Rock, I gotta ask you too, man. Before we get out of here, you know what? Before I ask you, last words or whatever, let's go ahead and get some shout outs, some flowers out to anybody that you want to give some shout outs to, man. You know, your staff, fans, family, anybody that you want to shout out. Let's just go ahead on and give them some flowers.
Oh, shout out to Miss Robinson, Buff's mother. She just had a birthday. Shout out to her. Shout out to my family, my sisters, brothers, nephews, and me. I got a new generation of nephews and nieces. They're so freaking bad. They're so, oh gosh, you know, I feel sorry for this world. But shout outs to the Certified Nation Entertainment team.
Right.
You know, Samantha Lavelle, Pen Game Classic, CD the Great, It's Only Right, J Law. I mean, these guys are this group is going to be a force to be reckoned with. But like I keep telling them, just stay focused. That's all you gotta do is stay focused. That's the best advice I can give you.
Right.
Because if your focus is there, and nobody could come between that focus and of what you're trying to do, get to the pinnacle of your success, then you're going to make it. As soon as somebody starts telling you and feeding you hype, you know, don't listen to it, because you know we can get engulfed in somebody else's hype and saying how good you are, and you know, you're the Don, you're the best, you're the king, you're the boss, all that BS.
Right.
You know, just stay focused and do what you have to do. So shout outs to them. Shout outs to all the hip hop listeners, man. I mean the real hip hop listeners. Shout out to my era of hip hop. Talk about cats like Run DMC and Houdini, LL, Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, one of my favorite groups in history of rap. You know what I'm saying? EPMD, Big Daddy Kane, all these guys. Just shout out to them because they're still doing it. They're still doing it.
Right.
And they're still rocking, man. And listen, Frank Sinatra was 86 years old when he was still on stage, you know, reading from a teleprompter to memorize his lyrics. The oldest rapper is only 64 years old. So these guys are still young. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing your thing, man. Don't let nobody say that this music, you're too old to be doing this music. You're not, you know.
Right.
Mick Jagger is 2,000 years old. He's still on stage rocking.
Killing it.
You know what I mean? He's killing it. You know, tight pants and all.
Right.
And so if he can do it, you can do it. Because he's iconic in rock and roll, just like you're iconic in hip hop.
Right.
You understand? At the end of the day, it's the music. You don't retire from music. You can't retire from music.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just keep doing what you're doing.
Rock, man, we love you, man. We love you, bro. And you keeping the legacy alive, keeping the name alive. And again, for me, the Vibe team, Vibe Promotions, we want to say thank you so much. This was an honor and definitely a pleasure. And we can't wait to get you back on here. Once you come on the Vibe Show, you're a part of the Vibe family now, man. We behind you. We support you 1,000 in all of your endeavors, and we wishing you more blessings and more success with everything that you're doing right now and everything that you're going to be doing in the future.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me. And like I said, tune in Saturday.
Just plug it up. Put it out there.
Yeah, it's for the culture, by the culture. Presents the holiday extravaganza, and just tune in on IG Live.
Just put the social platforms out there too. That way everybody can get connected. If you're not following this legend, man, let's give them those social platforms and ways that they can get connected with you.
You can catch me on IG at Legendary Fat Boy Kool Rock Ski. You can catch me on Facebook at Legendary Fat Damon Kool Rock Wimberly. My bad, Damon Kool Rock Wimberly. And I don't do Twitter. My niece does Twitter for me.
I don't do
obviously.
Really.
Yeah, I don't do Twitter. Obviously, I got a lot of followers on Twitter, but I never tweeted nobody.
Go figure.
Yeah, go figure, right?
Yo, man, listen, bro. This going in the treasure box, man. You know what I mean? It's going to the treasure box. We're gonna clip it up. We gonna send Sam everything, man. Again,
and she's gonna be hosting with me. Samantha Lavelle is hosting the IG with me.
That's gonna be dope. Thank you again, my brother. Shout out to everybody that was on the live that showed my special guests so much love. Y'all are the real champions. Listen, if you are not following the Vibe Show 97.9, y'all make sure that y'all get connected. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those bell notifications for more exclusive interviews coming up. If you're not, if you want to hear that hush, we got it right now. Heavy rotation right now on the Vibe Show 97.9. Y'all make sure y'all log on to the radio station, or we playing all of the hits, old school and new, at www.thevibeshow979.net. Y'all get plugged in. Y'all know my slogan: peace, love, and blessings to everybody. More love, less hate. Me and the legend, my guy, the one and only Kool Rock Ski. We out of here. It's the Vibe Show. Peace.